Okay, so picking up where we left off, kind of just to go back through where we left off. What I'm starting to do right now with this x equals 4.5 is I'm going to start graphing the letter D in my name. I wanted a vertical line at x point 4.5, so x equals 4.5. That's vertical line. The horizontal line is a y equals equation. Vertical is x equals. And then what I wanted to do was eliminate the stuff that's below this y-axis, and I wanted to go as tall as the 2. So my minimum is 0. Click on my keyboard. That's got a lot of nifty stuff in here, but what I'm using right here is the less than or equals to sign. And then I want to use the y variable because the y variable will eliminate the height. So this was a domain restriction. We are working on a range restriction using the y variable because y variable has everything to do with the range. And in here, the x variable has everything to do with the domain. So right here, I'm talking about range. And I want to go from 0, and then I think I kind of wanted to cut it off at 2. So that's part of my D. Now, what's going to be super helpful right here, I'm going to close this folder. It's going to be super helpful is to duplicate this. So there's actually 2 lines right there. But what I want to do is I want to have the rest of my D maybe like right here, which I'll have to zoom in. So basically what I'm trying to do is create a vertical line somewhere over here for the rest of my D. So I think what I want to do is keep it going from 4.5 to 6.5. And that's just a random preference. So what I had already did was I duplicated this line. There's 2 of them there. See, if I turn one off, oops, hold on a sec. If I turn one off, there's still one there. If I turn both of them off, they're both gone. So this function turns them off. This function turns the color. So I'm going to leave it black for now. So right here, what I want to do is change this to a 6.5. And look, I have another line over here. Now what I want to do is on a lowercase d, obviously this line right here kind of extends a little bit further up. So what I want to do is I want to extend this line up to about right here, which would be 5, because it's in the middle of 4 and 6. So instead of stopping at 2, what I want that to stop at is 5. See how it jumped up way up here? So you can kind of see I'm going to build another line right here and another line right here for my D. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want a horizontal line right there and a horizontal line right here. So I want a horizontal line at a height of 2. So horizontal will be my y equals equations at a height of 2. I want that to be black, so I click on this gear, click on that color, change it black. And now I want to cut off the rest of this stuff over here and over there. So I just want it from 4.5, because that's my x value, to 6.5. Notice how we're using these numbers right here in our domain over here. So, like I said, if you can't find these on your keyboard, click ABC. They're right here. You need to use the curly Q parentheses. So I'm going to use 4.5 as my domain restriction, less than or equal to x, because I'm talking about domain. I want to limit the x values. So the x values are the width. So I'm limiting its width right now. And then I'm going to use 6.5. And there it is. Now, something that's going to save you time again, duplicate this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to change the height right here to down here at a height of 0. So instead of a 2, you have a 0. And it already is kind of there with the black x-axis, but I want to be perfect. So I got the D right there. Now I'm going to link all of these by dragging it and creating that little vertical line. And then I'm going to close that and move on. I'm going to create another folder. You don't have to do the folders, but I'm doing them. Create another folder for my lowercase a. gonna kind of move over. What I'm gonna do actually is copy this stuff and start using it as my A, but I'm gonna just move over my stuff. So instead of having a vertical line at 4.5, I want to have a vertical line, looks like right here, and I think that's going to be 7 if you want to check at 7. So I'll keep it like that in that view. So I'm just copying that stuff because I'm going to type in a lot of stuff for the same kind of shape for my A. But I want it at 7, and look, it's the height of this line over here, but now it's moved over to 7. So it was this equation, but it's moved over to 7. Now I'm going to click on the gear, duplicate this. I want the same thing, but I want it over here for the rest of my A. My A is going to look like a box basically, but that's okay. I'm just doing it in a way that you guys can do it on your own too, as far as like graphing the lines that we know how to graph. So I'm going to create one over there. See how I just changed these two numbers, and I have one at 7 and now one at 9. I'm going to copy this stuff, paste it. So if you copying is just Control C, or you can copy, left click, whatever, and then paste it. But I want this to be green. I'm going to duplicate that to this one right here. Don't need that one. Oh, also, while I'm in the middle of this, save your work. Okay, now notice it's this line right here, but we really want it over here. So what we have to do is move it over there by using our domain restrictions. And these numbers are actually going to come from right here because we're going to go from 7 to 9. 7, 9. Moved it over. Now there's still one right there. That's this equation right here. I'm going to move that one over 7 to 9. Now, it's not really moving something over. It's actually a straight line across, but instead of having it restricted from right here to here, it's actually going to restrict it from 7 to 9 instead of 4.5 to 6.5. So if I want to undo what I just did, boom, it's right there. Okay. And then I actually need a line here at the bottom, so I need it at a height of 0, and there's my A. Now here's the hardest part for my name, is that I need a line for an A from like right here down to 10. Right now what I want to do is I want to put in 0, 10. This is gonna help me. Why did that? No, it's 10, 0. Sorry. 10, 0. And then I want it to go to this point right there, 9, 2. So I'm going to put another point. This is just going to help me map out a line. So let's kind of zoom in here. I want it from 9, 2 to 10, 0. Now I need to figure out what the slope is for that line. So 9, 2, I'm going to go down from here, 1, 2, and then over 1. So down 2 and over 1, right? Down 2 over 1. So that'd be negative 2, negative 2x. Now I'm going to kind of create another line here. I can get rid of that. Oh, not yet. So down 2, so I want y equals. Now we're going to have an x in there. And we're going to have a positive or y-intercept, but we're going to get to in a second. But for my slope, remember slope is rise or run. Use a fraction. It was down 2 and then over 1. Okay, now nothing really appeared because it's kind of got a funky notation in here. Negative 2x is the same thing as negative 2 over 1. And then we need a, oh, you know what I used? I think I need to use, that's not coming up. Okay, there we go. So now I needed to put in a, because it's got a plus sign, I needed to put in a y-intercept. Now, what I need to do is, from this point, I need to keep using my slope to get over to my y-intercept. That's the easiest way that you guys will know how, is to just to use the slope down 2 over 1 to figure out the y-intercept by going backwards. So we're going to go, let's kind of zoom out. Okay, so from here it's 9, 2. So I'm going to go over 1 and then up 2. So yeah, over 1, up 2 is right here. Over 1. Let's see here. Am I doing that right? Yeah, over 1, up 2, over 1, up 2, because we're going 6 to 8 right there. That's why it seems like it's 1, but it's really 2. And then over 1, up 2, over 1, up 2. Getting closer, over 1, up 2, over 1, up 2, over 1, up 2, over 1, up 2. So actually, watch this. My y-intercept will be 20. Boom. Do you see how I did that? So what I did was I plotted some points right here to get my slope, because I need this little line right here. From that point, 9, 2 to 10, 0. I use my slope by going down 2, because really, this is a height of 2 and not 1, even though it looks like 1, but it's a height of 2. Or it might even, some of you look like 4, but it's scaled differently. So it's down 2 over 1, and then I use that to go all the way up here to get my my y-intercept. And we need the y-intercept, or else you're gonna have your line looking like over here when you need it way over here. So that's why we need the y-intercept to be perfect. So use your slope. Okay, now we need to restrict this from x value 9 to x value 10. So our minimum will be 9 less than or equal to, and then we're using a domain restriction where we're limiting our x values. So we use x less than or equal to 10. And see how it kind of made that a right there? It's kind of a boxy looking a. It's not really great, but hey, it's going to work for now. Okay, so that's all my a stuff. So I'm going to link that together. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Where is it going? Oh, it's disappearing. I see. So I'm linking all this stuff together in my a. Now I actually don't need these points anymore, so I can get rid of them. Oops. Did something I didn't want to do. I want to get rid of the point, not that equation. Boom. Save. And looks like I'm going to run out of time on this one. Not enough time to do my M. So I'm going to stop this video here at the A, and then I'll create a video just for the M and my name, and that'll be it. It'll be a little bit shorter, hopefully, in the next video. So that's it for this video.